Lagos, Nigeria, June 28, 2026, Terminal 2, Murtala Muhammed International Airport. The departure hall is buzzing, hundreds of passengers moving through security, bags on conveyor belts, officers scanning, checking, waving people through. Then, something stops them. A 67-year-old woman, silver hair, quiet demeanor, a caregiver from London on her way back home after visiting family. Nothing about her raises an alarm, except what's hidden inside her luggage. What NDLEA officers find next will shock all of Nigeria and make headlines across the world. This is Crime Watch Africa, and tonight, we unpack the story of the grandmother with a deadly secret. To understand this story, you have to understand the woman at the center of it. Mary Yetunde Barek, 67 years old, Nigerian by birth, British by citizenship, a dual national living and working in the United Kingdom as a caregiver. Think about that for a moment. A caregiver, someone whose entire profession is built around caring for vulnerable people, the elderly, the sick, those who cannot care for themselves. By all appearances, Mary was one of the good ones, the kind of woman you'd trust with your aging parents, the kind of grandmother you'd be proud to have in your family. But appearances, as we will see tonight, can be extraordinarily deceiving. On June 28, 2026, Mary Yetunde Barek arrived at Terminal 2 of Lagos's Murtala Muhammed International Airport. She was departing Nigeria on a Virgin Atlantic flight bound for London. She had been in Nigeria, visiting family, reconnecting with her roots, or at least, that is what it looked like from the outside. Her luggage packed with food items, typical of any Nigerian traveling back to the UK. Jollof rice ingredients, dried fish, spices, and plantain. Lots and lots of plantain. Now here is where the story takes a turn that nobody in that departure hall could have anticipated. NDLEA operatives, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Nigeria's frontline warriors against drug trafficking, were running their standard outbound checks at Terminal 2. They had seen everything, or so they thought. When Mary's bags went through, something triggered the officers' attention. We don't know exactly what it was. A slight irregularity in the scan, the weight of the bag not matching what should be inside, a trained eye noticing something imperceptibly wrong. Whatever it was, the officers pulled Mary aside. They asked to search her bags. She agreed, and what they found inside would make even the most seasoned NDLEA veteran pause. Nestled among the food items, tucked carefully alongside legitimate groceries and personal belongings, were 31 large parcels. From the outside, they looked like hands of plantain, perfectly shaped, perfectly sized, wrapped and packaged the way you'd find fresh plantain at any Lagos market. But these were not plantain. Officers carefully unwrapped the first parcel, then the second, then the third, each one the same, white powder, tightly compressed, expertly packaged to survive an international flight and pass casual inspection. 13 kilograms of cocaine. To put that in perspective for you, 13 kilograms of cocaine has an estimated street value of over $1 million in the United Kingdom. Some estimates put it even higher depending on purity and distribution method. $1 million. Hidden in fake plantain, in a grandmother's food bag. Mary Yetunde Barek was taken into custody immediately. In the interrogation room, NDLEA officers faced her with the evidence: 31 parcels, 13 kilograms, all laid out on the table in front of her. And here is perhaps the most shocking part of this entire story. She didn't deny it. According to the NDLEA's official statement from spokesperson Femi Babafemi, Mary admitted full ownership of the recovered cocaine exhibits. Full ownership, not coerced, not blamed on someone else. She claimed those drugs as hers. Now, this raises a question that true crime investigators and criminologists have been wrestling with ever since this story broke. Why would a 67-year-old woman, a grandmother, a British citizen with a legitimate career as a caregiver, risk everything to smuggle 13 kilograms of cocaine out of Nigeria? The honest answer is, we don't know the full picture yet, but we can examine what we do know. Drug trafficking networks operating in West Africa are sophisticated, ruthless, and very good at identifying vulnerabilities in people. Elderly women, grandmothers especially, are often targeted specifically because they profile as low risk. Customs officers are statistically less likely to subject an elderly woman to a thorough search than they would a young man. Traffickers know this. They exploit it. The going rate for a drug mule carrying 13 kilograms of cocaine from Lagos to London can range from $5,000 to $30,000 depending on the network. For someone facing financial pressure, caring for family members, or trapped in a debt situation they cannot escape, that offer can feel impossible to refuse. But we must be clear, whatever the circumstances, Mary Yetunde Barek made a choice, and that choice had consequences not just for her, but for the communities that cocaine was destined to reach. Mary's arrest did not happen in isolation. The same week, NDLEA announced multiple other drug busts across Nigeria. A 45-year-old PhD student at the University of Putra, Malaysia, was arrested for allegedly masterminding an attempt to smuggle 5.8 kilograms of cocaine concealed inside the walls of 9 cartons of origin bitters destined for Kuala Lumpur. A 75-year-old man arrested in Plateau State with 15 kilograms of cannabis. A 65-year-old man arrested in Ebonyi State with over 231 kilograms of skunk. Do you notice a pattern? These are not young hustlers trying to make quick money. These are grandparents, elders, people who should be sitting with their grandchildren, not facing drug trafficking charges. This is a deliberate strategy by trafficking networks. Recruit the unlikely, deploy the unexpected, hide the product in plain sight. Fake plantain, origin bitters cartons, modified fuel tanks, food items that would never raise a second glance in a Nigerian household. The NDLEA's chairman, Brigadier General Mohammed Bubamawa, has been relentless in his pursuit of these networks. His agency has dismantled some of the most sophisticated trafficking operations in West African history. But as Mary Yetunde Barek's case shows, the networks adapt. They find new carriers, new methods, new disguises. The war against drug trafficking in Africa is far from over. Mary Yetunde Barek is currently in NDLEA custody, awaiting prosecution. If convicted under Nigeria's drug trafficking laws, she faces a minimum of 15 years imprisonment. Some offenses carry life sentences, depending on the quantity involved. At 67 years old, that is a sentence that could mean she never sees freedom again. A caregiver, a grandmother, a British citizen in a Lagos detention facility because of fake plantain. The story of Mary Yetunde Barek is not just a crime story, it is a warning, a reminder that drug trafficking networks in Africa prey on the vulnerable, the desperate, and the unsuspecting. They don't care about your age. They don't care about your grandchildren. They care about moving products, and they will use anyone to do it. This has been Crime Watch Africa. I'm your host, and if this is your first time here, subscribe now, because every week we bring you the real stories behind African crime, the ones that don't always make the international headlines but deserve to be told. Next week, we go deeper into the networks that recruit drug mules across West Africa and how they operate right under everyone's noses. Until then, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, in Africa, the truth is always stranger than fiction. Please click the subscribe button below to see more videos like this.